start with the Spectrum software. This prompt comes up, leave it as administrator, click OK. It's going to start looking for the equipment. If it gives an error, we just restart the computer, because sometimes the computer stays on. Now this is where we put in where we want the start wavelength and the end wave number. So that depends on what experiment you're doing, what areas you want to look at. The full range is from 4000 to about 700. Sometimes people prefer to do it 4700, then pick their area and then do another scan on that. So it depends what scan you want. The total number of scans, we leave that to 20, but then again that varies depending on how much noise you have and how much background data we're getting, so we might have to change that. And then that's the sample ID, so that's where you'll put what samples are. Just put anything you want. Okay, now once everything is ready, we click scan and it should start doing the scan. Okay, so that's the software side. That's just showing you the number. So it's 20 scans. So when it shows to 100%, that means it's done all the 100 scans, 20 scans. If you find that the scans which you're getting is not what you're expecting, there's probably something wrong with the sample you put there, you can stop the scan halfway through by pressing the halt button, and it will stop, and rather than waiting for it to all the way to finish, you can just go back and fix the sample and restart the scan again. Now sometimes, especially if you restart the equipment and you're starting it fresh, you'll have to do a background scan before you start doing your scan. The background scan, what the background can, is just going to record the background absorbance for the equipment itself. So the way we do it, we go to measurement, click on background, but make sure when we're doing the background there's nothing on the sample side, and it will just do the background and it will save it. The background is for the instrument itself to do the calculation. You don't need to sort of save the background yourself, or you don't need to keep the file. It's just for the instrument itself. Again, it will do 20 scans on the background. And the background range is going to be the range you give it. So ideally I would suggest, because this time it's doing background from 1800 to 500, if you're doing a scan from 4000 to 700, then you do a background from 4000 to 700 as well. So once the background is done, then I'll show you how to put the sample over there and then how to run a scan. And then how to save it. Okay, so you can see over here that's showing all the scans we've done. So it's showing the incomplete scan which we do. It's not going to show the background because, as I said, the background is not for us, it's for the instrument to do the calculations. So now let me show you how to do a scan how we place the sample on the window and then we run it. So that's the FTIR window. So we just press it down and rotate it, lift it up. This little thing here, that is where the detection happens. So whatever we have sample, we are putting liquid, powder, that has to make contact with that window. So I'll just use this plastic acetate sheet. I'll put that on the window, close it. So once you close it, you need to rotate this knob here. So, and then you bring this down. To apply a bit of pressure on the sample. The idea is that we apply just enough pressure so that the sample can make a good contact with that small FTIR window. So once the sample is in place, and this is after we've done all the background readings, we come back to this to the software screen. So I will leave that to 1800 to 500, but you can change it to whatever scans. Leave that to 20 scans. I'll change that to acetate sheet because that's what we are scanning, and then I will click the scan button and it will start scanning. And the number of scans which we choose will depend. So if you're looking at something while it's reacting, we'll probably want to go for 4 scans or 3 scans, because otherwise we won't be able to we'll get a lot of noise because it's reacting. But if something which is static, then we can have 20 scans or So now it's done scanning, and now we can see it's giving us 2 scans here, one the GIC which we wanted run previously, and now this one. Now this one, because it was a wrong scan, we don't want it to display here. So what I can do, I can just click on it and then hit the delete button, and that will just remove it from the window. So now I'm just focusing on the scan which I want to look at. If I want to now compare the scan with the scan which I ran previously, I can go to File, Open, and let's say it's this scan. Select that, open it, and then I'll have 2 scans open side by side, and then I can look at them and compare them. I can adjust the x-axis and the y-axis by using the Auto XY or the Auto Y, or if I want to follow the peak, I can click on the cursor button, move it on the peak I'm interested in, and double click it, and it will give me the peak number. Once I'm finished comparing it with that, I just select that scan again and hit the delete button. That doesn't delete the file, it just deletes it from the window, so that file still remains saved. Now after I've done the scan, now if I want to save it, the best thing is to do File, Save As, and create your own folder. That will make it easier. So you go to Save As, hit this button here, that will take you to the directory, which is pel data, and then in this folder here you make a new folder, so I'll just call it test folder. Double click that, click OK, click on apply to all, and then click save, and that will save the file in that folder. Now that is saved in a format which is readable by this software only. If I want to save it in a format which is readable by Excel, then I do File, Save As, sorry, it's not this one, sorry, it's File, Export. The folder name is already going to be there. If it's not there, we can select it again from this window here, and I select this format, this .csv format, and then click export. So that will save it in a format which is readable by Excel. Once you're done with all the scanning, you go back to the remove the sample, just wipe it off with tissue paper and ethanol, leave it open or close it. Once you just click on this button here to close the software, it's going to ask you exit without saving dataset. What that means is that when you open the software again, do you want to open it with the same sample which you're showing now? So I would just leave it without saving, because the person is going to use it next time, they don't want to see the data again. So I'll just click OK, and that's it, it's going to close.